Alright, welcome back everybody to Tactics Ogre Reborn. We're gonna go back now and we're gonna re-recruit
I recognize you, lad.
Yamp.
What business see you out here?
Accidentally killed him in my first playthrough.
I might ask the same of you, Gamp. Who'd have thought you were the bandit thorn in Grimsby's side?
You took me friends away, you did. Made me very, very sad.
There's another one of them curious things. Even if you don't kill Berta and Obda, the game still acts as if you killed Obda and Berta, so you end up with Obda and Berta the younger. The rest of these people don't matter. So this is the one battle where you cannot kill Oda and Berta if you want to recruit Gamp. You could choose to murder them in the first 2 or 3 encounters with him. But like I said, regardless of the way you handle the first couple encounters, he is recruitable even to this point, no matter what you've done. So long as in this battle you do not kill Obda or Berta the younger. Also don't kill Gamp either, because if you kill him you can't recruit him. This isn't a situation where you knock him down to 0 and he goes, okay, I'm gonna leave now, or I'm gonna pass out and we'll talk about this. No, he dies for real. This battle is pretty straightforward. I chose to cap my level here only because I didn't want to make this more difficult than it needed to be to knock Gamp down to a certain percentage. He will not surrender right away. You have to knock him down to around 10% of his current health, which is not hard to do, but it's also, at this point in the game, you may be a little over-weaponed, your weapons might be a little overpowered is what I mean. And which makes it more difficult because Gamp isn't exactly running around with like I don't know, 2000 HP. He's more along the lines of like 700 or something. I know he's got the buffs, but I still would be very concerned about accidentally having one of my attacks critical him, and in doing so cost me the battle again. Of course, if it does, I'll just have to restart this level and just do it again. We'll just re-record everything I'm saying, plus or minus whatever I end up talking about. There's a quick story here. Well, I'll start out at the beginning and we'll kind of work our way into my story. So the plan for this episode is to basically encapsulate all of the different things that we haven't seen yet, which is me recruiting Gamp. We already got Sherry, we got Aslan, the pirate. So that should be everyone we can recruit under the Chaos and Neutral path. I know I missed out on some guys on the Neutral path. There were 3 kind of generic characters. One was a Valkyrie, one was a white, or not a white knight, a regular knight, and the last one was a wizard. They were in one of those fortresses. I could have recruited Hobbam at that point, but I didn't realize that it was a timed thing, so I ended up going the correct direction, which was progress, instead of doing the side quest first and then doing the progress, and ended up getting locked out of it. Didn't realize that. Anyways, so I have those. I'm gonna do that off screen because there's really not much to that fight. Other than, you probably need to have some griffins in there, much like when we had the griffins to get the necromancer. You want someone who can move up the fortress fast, because if you wait too long, your guys are going to go past their 3 turns and they're going to die. If you revive them, they're going to become targets for the enemy and they're going to die. So if you can get a fast-moving character to sort of distract the other enemies away from the main goal, then yeah, you can then resurrect the characters. But you end up having to play sort of like nanny to those characters, because their level is not I don't think it's appropriate for where they're at. So, sort of like the end of the game when we were fighting the final boss, and a character would pass out, and you'd revive them, and the very first thing you would do on your next turn, ideally, would be to heal them back to full life, because your resurrection spell would only put them somewhere in the ballpark of 10 to 25% of their initial health, and even though they do get, as soon as they're revived, it's their turn to very much do that, which is heal themselves. I don't control computer characters, so they don't do what I want them to do, which is heal themselves, and causes you issues, so you have to baby them and sort of plan when you're going to revive them, because as soon as you revive them, you want to have someone right behind them to heal them, or at least get them up to half health until your actual healer's turn comes up. Yeah, but I'll do that off screen. We don't need to do that portion. They don't have any real big dialogue. There's a achievement for rescuing them, but I'm not super concerned about that. But what I'm going to do here is, once we finish recruiting Gamp, which we are going to do, I will start down the end of the game path, which starts on, well, it doesn't have to start here, but this is the best way to do it without playing a large portion of this through. So basically, you go to fight the Bakram, and when you reach him, your uncle, and you defeat him, and you're not going, and you don't have Kashua in your party, because she died, because you couldn't convince her to come back with you, which helps you, which is good because it gets you the Lord class, but it's bad because then you can't get a good ending. Both the endings kind of stink. They're both kind of bad endings. It's just one's worse than the other. So there's a decision that's made after you defeat the Hierophant, or whatever his name is. I'm thinking of something else. So once you defeat them, there's a decision that's made right after. That's a cutscene where they're basically saying, okay, what do we do now? Which ends up being, we need to go after the Dark Knights and stop them from doing whatever they're doing. And news comes up in this meeting, which doesn't come up in if you have Kashua, going for the princess ending, and you got Kashua alive. There's a decision that comes up in there where basically, while you're defeating the Bakram in the castle, some of your soldiers, generically speaking, soldiers, decided to pillage the town, rape and pillage the town. And so you have a choice here where you can either say, okay, that's unacceptable, we're going to punish those ne'er-do-wells, or you're going to say, well, we can't punish them now, we'll punish them later. And if you say you'll punish them later, the Bakram's support for you tanks, and it goes below 30%, which is the easiest way to get, I think, is the easiest way to get the bad ending, because you have to have to get the neutral, to get the princess ending, you have to have Kashua. To get the neutral ending, you have to have greater than 30. I will say 30%. I don't know if it's actually percentage. Chaos frame, which means you have to have at least support of 31% of the population for you to get the neutral ending, and you basically ascend the throne as the king of malaria. Okay. If you're below that, if you're below 30%, you get the bad ending. If you're above 30% with everybody, all 3 factions, then you get kind of a neutral ending, but still pretty bad. But it's not as bad, I guess. We'll get there. So yeah, the plan is, like I said, we're just gonna finish getting Gamp, and then I'm gonna show you the ending. It's the same for the neutral and bad ending.
Whatever you like, but not the younglings.
You boys are innocent.
I'm the bad egg, the rotten core of the apple. Punish the man, you spare the child.
You mean what you say, Gamp?
You tell me what you want. You got it. I'm good for me word.
I'll hold you to that, then. Fine master, younglings. Gamp, you're with us now. I'm making you join the Resistance. Let's see if you can take care of a country, as well as you can take care of those creatures.
What's this now? You're making a friend of Gam. Oh, this ain't the plumbing me put in. I was trying to kill you, boy. You sure you want me around when you set camp for the night?
You're just another victim of this war, Gamp. One of the Hierophant's pawns. I'm giving you the chance to use your talents for something worthwhile.
Well, that's downright kind of you. You make a man feel almost human.
Yeah, Gap is a bit of a wild man. I guess he thinks he's more of a beast. He belongs more with beasts than human beings.
The great Father Filaha, you are hereby crowned our sovereign lord, King Denham Morn, defender of the realm. Let no man gainsay this sanctified ascension.
So this is the ending. You get this if you don't have Cashwa in your party. You get this ending. It's pretty much the same with the exception of the epilogue.
To meet a month hence.
Their demands?
The release of 6 of their officers and representation within the government.
Extortion! We would encourage every band of thugs to rise up and claim their own reward.
As you say, a matter for our new liege then. Which brings up another concern.
Now is not the time. The coronation begins within the hour. Best leave this until it's finished.
So there's still problems within the kingdom.
It's time.
You can see that even though you know they're working under Denham, there's still some sort of level of insurrection that's occurring not only outside but inside the government itself. They can't seem to agree on what to do. Who should have power, who shouldn't have power, if they should subjugate the people, if they shouldn't, you know, they're going to leave it up to Denham.
I'll speak with him. You go on ahead.
And one of the things I guess I failed to mention up to this point is there's a cutscene in this where they're talking about that there's a traitor or there's a spy within your ranks. You're not really sure who it is. And I'm not really sure if it's not him. I mean, on the one hand, you can look at the way he presents this ending, and you say, okay, no, he's on Denham's side. You can also see how he could be a double agent. He's secretly just sort of watching the king to see how he, you know, goes about his decision-making, and he may be subverting him.
The Viscount and his henchmen's bodies inside.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
This is dire news. Any word of the perpetrator?
None have stepped forth to claim the deed, though our shadows have a theory. The methods used closely resemble those employed by the Tigers of Burnham.
That incendiary rabble! Who knows of this?
At present, only myself and my sister.
Good. Then we keep it to ourselves until the coronation is finished. Understood?
Should Denham not be informed?
I'll tell him myself. You two return to the celebration hall. Not a word of this.
Yeah, I kind of
There are those
understand
who
why
do
you'd
not
want to
look
keep
with
this
favour
kind of a
upon
secret,
Denham's ascension.
but as to whether or not
And Celia,
Maruva
double the
gives
guard
the
upon
information to
hall.
Denham, it's
Check
not really
all who
clear
come.
from these cutscenes.
Let's go, Sistina.
So sort of like the princess ending, we're going to do a lot of flashbacking to conversations we had with Kashua, and then eventually our father. And he's sort of upset because he very much feels that he failed his sister in,
I know how you must feel.
you know, in
But what of my
this
feelings?
war, in the
I don't
outcome
want to
that ended
lose
up
you.
happening.
Our father is dead. A hard truth. But a truth all the same.
I mean, he fails his sister, she dies. He fails his father because he
You
can't
are the
protect
only
Kashua.
one
Can't put her
bound
on
to
the
me by
throne.
blood. I couldn't bear to let you die. Forgive me. I know my words will not sway you. Only promise me. Promise you'll never leave your sister.
Leaving you? Scarce a moment goes by we are not at each other's side. And so it shall remain. I will never leave you.
There is the lie. You have chosen your war over your sister. How long until you cast me aside? Until you forget me altogether?
Never, sister.
I'm alone without you!
Koshua!
Yep. The dialogue's a little bit weird here because I have to wonder if some of the dialogue wasn't intended for after she
Dwelling
talks
on
with
thoughts of Kashua
Lancelot.
again.
Instead of after they have this conversation, she meets Lancelot.
The ceremony begins shortly. Your people are waiting.
What do they wait for, Rabuna? Me? Or something they imagine me to be?
It is enough that you act the monarch now. The questions can come later.
But
But you must. If you do not become king, these islands will plummet headlong back into war. This is something only you can do. You must be king. I dare say you know this as well as I. Time to go, Your Majesty.
So the reason I say I think Maruva might be a spy, having not played the post game to find out if that actual storyline pans out or not, is the fact that he says it's time to go, and it can be both interpreted if you're talking about, oh, you know, I'm being a little bit harsh on you because you need to become the king to bring peace back to the land, but he also might be talking about all my misdeeds and being like, it's time for you to go, Denham,
Father.
like away forever.
No, it is not about you. Become a stone along the path to our salvation. You must look with clear eyes, Denham. Make the right choice. Lead us along the true path. Make our way. Do this. Only this.
You mustn't talk. You must rest.
Denham. Forgive me.
Father!
So, unlike the Princess ending, you don't get a good wrap-up with all of the little characters that you recruit throughout the time, you know, and see their post-game. You just get this, it all cuts, and then you just get this ending right here, which is, you know, the sort of how the war's framed. The war that engulfed Valeria would be known as the Heim Conflict. And then this is where it branches. If you have less than 30% in the Chaos frame with the Wallister, Galistani, or Bakram, you get this bad ending.
The war is over, and yet our troubles remain legion. Our people still suffer. They are hungry, without family or peace in their hearts. If I have one wish, it is for every man to bury his differences. We must sever the chains of time and make a break with the past. For our future, for our children, we must repent and endeavor to reform. We must, and we can. We will build a new future, a peace where all live together. As Valerians.
Down with Denimorn! Glory to the Wallister!
And you get shot and killed, and that's the bad ending. Now, the neutral or good ending is still not a good ending, but basically all three of the clans you have greater than 30 in their chaos frames, so you get this ending instead.
Lodis moves. You're certain?
I spoke with the rider myself, my lord. An army 200,000 strong, they don't stand a chance.
The wheel turns again. And so soon after they restored peace, King Denham draws a fatal hand.
Yes, I don't really know what's supposed to happen there, but you could say it becomes sort of a world war, perhaps.